Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Mike Armstead, and welcome to phase 2 of your effective communications, the briefing aspects. Imagine this. You are a lieutenant. You just got assigned to a brigade as a Brigade 1. You've been in there for 2 weeks. You and your boss been working on a particular briefing. Your boss came in one day and said, you know, Lieutenant Jones, I've got some sad news, some very sad news. I've got to go on emergency leave. However, we must complete this briefing tomorrow, and you've got to do it for me. And you're saying, you're going, yes, I know you can do it. You watch me, I've trained you, I know you can do it. But you're going, well, this class is designed to give you the tools that will assist you in your briefing techniques. In every class you attend, there are TLOs, and here are mine. The actions, the conditions, and the standards. Now the actions are clear. It says apply the principles of effective communications. Look at the standards. There's a lot going on here. Given a requirement to apply the principles of communications and access to AR 2550, FM 50, DAPM 667, and the Effective Writing Handbook and awareness of operational environment, contemporary operational environment, and variables of other actors. Now, the standard is clear. We're going to apply these rules, these principles of the communications in the oral process. Keep in mind, as a safety note, be very careful if you're drinking water, juice, or coffee to not accidentally waste that water, juice, or coffee into your laptops. Okay? That's important. If you did that, what could happen to you? Electrocuted, statement of charges. That's important. The risk for this class is low. Now, as far as environment goes, be careful if you're drinking this water juice. If you've got plastic bottles, make sure you use the recyclable bins so we can support the environment. Okay? There's no exam for this course. However, you will be required to complete 3 writing assignments, and I'll grade them accordingly. And this class now is a continuation of the one you had last week. You will use it while you're here doing your Staff X and FTX, and also when you leave these sacred walls. So how do you add life to your briefing? How do you own the stage as far as briefing goes? How do you add life in your briefing techniques? To the ground.
I think the amount of enthusiasm that you put into what you're doing helps bring life into what you're saying.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. James.
Personalize it. If you bring a story or something that you can relate to,
Okay.
your personality will come through.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Great.
You gotta be yourself.
Be yourself. Absolutely. And the thing about that, when you add life to it, you own that briefing. You own it. You don't get up and say, okay, next slide, next slide. Tell me, get my attention. Make me want to listen to you. So you make a point, you tell a story, but it needs to be relevant to your class. What about gestures? Gestures, do you use them? When do you use them? What does that mean to you? Gesture. Lieutenant Owens.
Well, sir, my idea of a gesture is like when you move your hands, or maybe facial, making faces, as you call it, just facial expressions.
Okay.
Just something to try to drive your point home.
Okay. Great point on it. Yes, sir.
I think gestures also emphasize what you're trying to say if they're used correctly.
Yes. Very good. They add to your presentation. Man, it was tough, but we did it. I want to show you a video of a good example on how gestures are used. It's from the peanut commercial. Okay?
You guys ready for me to get personal? My
whole life, people doubted me. They didn't know what I had inside here. They didn't see 7 grams of protein or 6 essential nutrients. They just saw a tiny little peanut. But you gotta ignore your eyes. Listen to the peanut. Believe in its power. See, I can't put the peanut inside your mouth. Only you can do that. Only you can harness the power of the peanut.
All right. Good examples on how to use gestures to bring it home. Okay? Other techniques, the podium. When do I use the podium? How do I use the podium? Why is the podium important or not important?
Well, sir, I know you shouldn't lean on the podium because that can be distracting to your audience.
Okay? You said you should not lean on the podium.
Should not.
You should not. Okay? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Well, you can use the podium when it's something more serious that you need to talk about, or something very low-key that you need to talk about.
It's fine if you use it appropriately. But what I've learned is that when I'm talking to you, as I'm doing now, I want nothing between you and me. I want to talk to you. No podium. That's important. One-on-one conversation. All right? But then there are times when the podium use is appropriate. For example, when you're going to talk about specific stats, you want to read something specifically, use it. At the same time, while you're using it, don't stand in and do the old death grip on it. Talk about it, go for it, relax your arms, and go. What about eye contact? When do I look at you, and if I do look at you, how long do I look at you?
3 to 5 seconds?
3 to 5 seconds is a good rule. Yes, ma'am?
You want it to be natural, because if it's natural, then you're less likely to be nervous or distract yourself from what point you're trying to make.
Very good. Yes, sir?
I think you also want to use direct eye contact when whatever you're talking about is personal.
Okay.
And you want somebody to really understand what you're talking about.
Very good. Those are good answers. And I always say this. You scan and you stop. And you talk to individuals. You look at all, but talk to one. Now I want to demonstrate something to you. There are times when you might be called upon totally off guard. Totally off guard. So what I want you to do now, I'm going to call on one of you. And what you're going to do is you're going to come up here and demonstrate to us a technique. There are times you are the brigade S1. You're sitting there minding your own business. The boss walks in and says, Lieutenant Grant, this afternoon at 13:30, we got an award ceremony. Okay? I need a reader. And I want you to read the presentation for me. Lieutenant Grant, stand up. I want you to own this now. As of now, you don't have a clue what this is. Okay?
Sir.
I want you to read this in your normal speaking voice. And at some point in time, I want you to add to it. I'll tell you when to add to it. You're going to read the first line here, normally. But then I want you to own this reading, okay? Here you are. Easy. Not important. Now read the first line for me. Just read it in your normal speaking voice.
Once we have cultivated trust and
Talk loud.
provided the environment that fosters cooperation, we find it much easier to implement change and help others be more accepting of those changes.
Okay, stop there. Now notice, you're reading, looking down, not looking at you all for the most part. Read it again now, but this time add more into it, all right? Put emphasis on certain words, okay? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Once we have cultivated trust and provided an environment that fosters cooperation, we find it much easier to implement change and to help others be more accepting of those changes.
Now that's okay, but this time, leave your comfort zone. Go out there and make it happen. Just home it in, all right? Go for it.
Once we have cultivated trust
Yes.
and provided an environment
Yes.
that fosters cooperation, we find it much easier to implement change and to help others become more accepting of those changes.
Now do it one more time, but this time, this is, put it in up to it. Give it to us. All you got. Go ahead.
Once we have cultivated trust and provided an environment, we find it much, much easier to implement changes and help others become more accepting of those changes.
Yeah, good job, huh, man? Good job. That's wrong, now. Thank you so much. Good job. Now, you all heard that, right? Now, you get a chance. You're going to get a chance to take about 30 to 45 seconds. You're going to get up in a little bit here and go to this table and find an object. You're going to find this object. You're going to look at it and put in your mind, what can I say about this object to get my audience attention? Okay? Are we clear on that now?
Yes, sir.
So at this time, stand up, go to the table, and find you an object. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Now when you come up, I want you to tell me your name and just go right into your object, okay? Talk about it. Get my attention. We'll start with Lieutenant James, please.
Good afternoon, class. I'm Lieutenant James. Lieutenant Dunstan, you're fired. Pink slip. I saw this and it reminded me of a time where I actually had to sit in on a termination of an employee. And I thought it was going to be like The Apprentice. And it was going to be Donald Trump and very easy. But from my experience, I found that it was very difficult and it was emotional and it was nothing like portrayed on TV.
Wow. That's very effective, huh? Give her a hand, class. Good job.
I have the football, sir. Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Dunstan. I'll tell you, growing up with brothers, I was always afraid to play football. But Lieutenant Brown, see, through football wasn't the best. But how I learned to throw a football is when I went to Baylor. I know you all know who RG3 is. He was playing football and I went up to him and I said, I'm a huge fan. Will you teach me how to throw a football? Sure enough, I am confident now in throwing this football.
Wow. Good job. I can tell you that impromptu is a challenge sometimes, isn't it? Okay? Lieutenant Brown, give it a try. Would you, sir?
Hello, class. My name is Lieutenant Brown, and I want to let you know back in 1996, when I was a young lad, this right here, this hanger that's in my hand, was my first experience ever of washing and folding my own clothes. And ever since then to this day, I have not mastered the folding and washing of my clothes.
Wow. Very good. Good job. Good job. Lieutenant Grant, give it a try. Can you top that? Oh, he's got a Pepsi.
I can
my
only
goodness.
try. Hello, class. I'm Second Lieutenant Grant, and I have here with me memories. When I was a child, though you may not know now, I used to be a little overweight. When I got into the military, my sergeant major told me I need to lose the weight and I need to cut out the Pepsi. Now, I sneak it every once in a while. But you know what? Every time I see that Pepsi, I think of my sergeant major pushing my PT score higher and higher.
Wow. Very good. Good job. Good job. And last but not least, to Lawrence.
I don't know if I can stand up to my classmates.
Oh.
So. Hi, Lieutenant Owens. My prop I chose this cup. Why? It's got a lid. Ever been sitting at your desk, next thing you know, your paperwork's ruined because you got too busy and spilt your cup?
Yes.
Thank you! Well, that's why we need lids on cups. So make sure you ever work it, you put your lid on your cup.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Great job. Great job. Man. Great job. As you can see, once you apply the basic techniques, you can address any situation. if you understand the basics.
Mr. Armstead, how do I get rid of my ums?
So your question pertains to such as
Yes, sir.
correct? Well, the best way, number one, is to recognize that I've got arms. I am saying arms, okay? Now, I've always realized this. Once I realize my arms, now I pause. It's okay to pause without saying anything, okay? But the key is I recognize my arms. Once I recognize them, then I can just pause and go to my next point. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Senator James.
Mr. Armstead, what are some ways that I can prepare for my speech or my briefing?
One way, the big way, is number one, know your topic. Know your topic. That's important. And number two, you need to know your audiences. And then you apply the techniques. But the first and foremost is knowing your topic. If you don't know your topic, you will fail. And if you don't know your audience, you will fail. Okay, those are, in my mind, the two most important ones. Okay? Can I answer your question?
Yes, you did, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions? Now let's do a check on learning. What are some distractors that we want to avoid in briefings? Senator Grant.
Mr. Armstead, I believe leaning on the podium.
Leaning on the podium? That's a very good one. Senator Owens, give me another one.
Playing with your pointer?
Playing with your pointer. You mean something like this?
Yeah.
Like this, right? That's a major distractor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You should put it down, away from you. Okay? Very good. Senator Brown.
Shifting your weight side to side. It's like
You mean
rocking.
rocking from side to side? Yes, that's a major distractor. You know, the old rocker we call it. Senator James.
Using over-exaggerated gestures with your
Oh,
hands.
using over-exaggerated gestures, such as, what is all that? What does that mean? What is all this? You're talking with your hand. What's all that? Absolutely. Anything else? Very good, very good. Now, once again, my TLOs are clear. And they are, again, we wanted the action is to apply the principle of effective communications, the conditions, given the requirements to apply the principle of effective communications, and access to AR 2550, FM 50, DAPAM 667, and the effective writing handbook, and awareness of the operational environment, contemporary operational environment, and of course, variables and actors. We're going to apply these techniques to the effective communication in the briefing concept. In summary, we talked about ways that you can improve your communication technique. We gave examples on how to move back and forth and things not to do, such as lean on the podium, swaying back and forth, walking too fast, not having appropriate eye contact. In closing, I want to read you a quote. It's a quote that I've read many times over the years. It's quoted by President Gerald Ford. He said this: if I went back to college again, I would concentrate on two areas: learning to write and speak before an audience. Nothing in life is more important than the ability to communicate effectively. Gerald Ford.